This is an old John Deere. Um, it's an S1400 weed eater. I believe it's made by Homelight. However, Homelight or not, it says John Deere on it. And I've had this thing for 23 years, I believe, maybe 24. And I've since purchased another one, and this is basically my backup, but it just needs some TLC, and that's what I'm going to do. So instead of spending a lot of time rebuilding things, I purchased another carburetor, and it wasn't very expensive. It's like, I don't know, $14, something like that. This is what it comes with, a little carburetor and gaskets. On the spool for the string, I decided to go with the OEM parts. So this one cost me a little bit more. It's like 19 bucks. But I tried an aftermarket one, and that was a waste of money. Let me get set up and we'll start replacing parts. We're not overhauling anything, so. Now I need to find out why I can't get it threaded, so I'm going to see if those threads need to be tapped. For some reason it's not going in. Okay, so it's a 5/16 bolt. It's 18 thread, right? 5/16 18. So I just did it off camera. I don't understand why it wouldn't accept the threads. I mean, it's the other one was working just fine, even though it's aftermarket. But here's 5/16 18 bolt right here, so which goes in, and the one from John Deere actually goes in now too, like it's supposed to. There we go. Okay, now it's working. It's done. Okay, let's start taking some of this apart. I don't remember. I think 3/8 that are in there. There's two. There's two bolts in there. This one and this one, the 3/8. Actually, just removing those two takes everything else off. And that's basically it. Just comes out as a whole assembly. Okay, so they gave us, here's this gasket. Let me see what they gave us here. They gave us two gaskets. Let's see here. Okay, this is the vent tube right here. I'm going to go ahead and take that fuel tank off. When I undo these, there's a couple of rubber isolators. I think there's one right here only. Yeah, it's one. This one right here is right in here, I believe. So just got to make sure I put that one back. There's the old filter right there. Okay, remember this was the vent side. All right, that guy's in. That's it right there. We'll do the vent. I'm going to leave this long. We'll do the vent last. Right now, I just got to put the tank back on, put the fuel back in it, and we're good to go, I think. And I'm not really going to torque these down. I'm just going to make sure they're just tight. I've never had an issue with that coming off, or without going into the torquing process. It's good to go. All right, so yep. The adjustments, and I believe it was in the middle. Yeah, I should have looked. We'll find out once I trigger it. Let me see here. This guy should be able to slide in place now. And this works just fine. When I first bought this house, these made in USA basic little nut drivers were here, and let me tell you, I've used these little guys so much. The filter. And then all we got to do is run the fuel line. All right, so our fuel line goes to the top. Let's see if that's going to be enough for me to get it in there. I think so. Maybe I should have done this first, right? No, we're good. And I think that's it. 25, same thing. Okay. It's running good. The only thing now that it's either this carburetor or typically what happens is when you put this in the cold start position, as soon as you hit the trigger, it should release this automatically back up to where there's no choke. And in this case, it looks like I have to do everything manual. So I'm gonna see what the difference is between this and that other carburetor and see why it's not doing that. But let me show you what I did here on this choke. This does have the automatic choke relief. So this is the one that came off of the new carburetor, and this is the one that came off the old one. Look at the difference, the way they sit. So that's why it was hitting. It's almost like this is backwards. Should be like this, but anyway, that's the way they made it. So I took the old one off, and I put the old one on there. Check this out. Locks in place. Hit the trigger. Kicks right back up. Just the way it's supposed to work. All right. Okay. So if you guys buy a carburetor like this and the old lever don't work, take the old one off. Put it on. It worked on mine. It may just work on yours. And even with the cover on, kicks right back up. All right.